We're in chapter 5 of the book, which talks about the swim and primarily the concept of the 153 season. But to start off, talk to me about preparation.
Preparation. Yeah, this chapter I think was very important to inject something that was a sense of all the hard work you're putting in and where God rewards those things. So we wanted to have I think it's the shortest chapter in the book.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
Okay.
It's the shortest chapter in the book, but it's the one that kind of shares all the accolades of our company. And I don't know if we made it the shortest intentionally. It might just be me just trying to get over it real quick. But see, that's the thing is we need to celebrate our wins, and this book intentionally shares a heart position, educates us on or at least shares my journey on when God, I don't know what's the right word, but and I have a hard time with when you do well, and sharing that, because I never want to take glory for ourselves. So the book was intentional on structuring how to position our hearts when God does show up and bless you. There you go. It's
that's good. Yeah.
It's I don't know, just my whole life, man, I've been in some amazing opportunities, right? And where most people, if we had social media back in the day, would have been posting the heck out of stuff. And I've had the deep valleys too, where, just crazy stories of, the house fires and poverty that you wouldn't post. But, being on both sides of the spectrum, I think I personally, coming from a poverty setting, we get some people want to post the heck out of it and make it known. And I struggle with that, because I don't want any attention brought to myself. Like John the Baptist says, he must increase while I decrease. And I've always had that heart of just, it's always been hard for me to share when something goes well. And so this book in this chapter really helped me understand those moments when the blessings are there and how to celebrate your wins. So that's really what this chapter is sets the tone of that heart position. But what you asked was preparation, I think, is the key to any kind of blessing with God. There's a scripture in the book, Proverbs 21:31. The horse is ready for battle and victory is of the Lord. That says a lot to me about when I'm in a construction business, right? Yeah. So we have to do a lot of preparation and pre-construction. And most people think oh, here's the design, here's the drawings. Let's
go.
Yeah, can you guys start next week? And I always got to pause people. I mean, even in a $3 million project, we get things, signed. We go through all the negotiations and the contract. We get that thing signed. They're ready to start in 2 weeks. And I'm like, whoa. There's a lot of preparation. Going from just contractual, we sign with a client, we got to start signing with all the subcontractors. There's trade agreements that got to go out and final negotiations, get them locked in, figuring out their timings. And then you do that 20 times. And then you take all those schedules, pump them into your schedule and figure out how the best alignment is with milestones that you can't miss to make sure those get in place. You got to look in permitting, make sure that stuff's aligned and getting all those things in place. You got to check with vendors and lead times when you purchase something. You're on an island and some stuff takes 8 to 12 weeks. You got to take those lines if you pay for that at this certain time and when that aligns. So it's just all this preparation, man. You got to go to the lot and do preparation. You got to mobilize. You got to do all this stuff. And so for you to even start, man, it's the saying of an airplane takes 80% fuel. I don't know if this is correct. I just don't know if I read it right. But an airplane takes about 80% of its fuel to get in the air. And then the rest of it is just glide mode. You know what I'm saying? So that's the same thing with construction, but that's the same thing in leadership and life and with business is preparation is key. There's things, there's sayings of, preparation meets opportunity. And I believe that God has opportunities out there, and without us preparing and putting in the work, it's those opportunities can be missed. And because there's a certain ladder or stair or pathway, you got to get to this certain door.
Right.
And if you don't do what you need to do, you may never land at that door. There's this movie in the book that I referenced, Facing the Giants.
Mm-hmm.
And this pastor was talking with the football coach. He was just like going through a meltdown. Like, I guess his wife can't have kids anymore. Bills are at their final, like he's about to lose his house. His car broke down. The football team's losing. He happened to hear that, they're going to fire him.
Man, he's getting everything, bro.
Man, he's like, dude, he's just like, he's a mess. And he's just sitting there, and this like school pastor came like coming through, and he was praying on all the lockers, and he just comes into his office, and he kind of gave him a story, man. He was just like, there's two farmers, and both of them prayed for rain, but only one of them actually prepared the field. And when the rain came, who you think got the crop?
Mm.
And so I think that moment shifted and spoke to him like, oh man, I need to go to war. I need to prepare. I need, like, in his head was like, I haven't been seeking God. I haven't been like going at this a different way. I just kind of used my way and came to an end, but I just kind of stuck there. And so preparation, when you hear that scripture again, Proverbs 21:31
Mm-hmm.
is horses prepared for battle, but victories of the Lord's. Man, I really think about that time, like if you're watching the movie Vikings or some of those old movies that they get on horses and go to war,
Yeah.
Braveheart with Mel Gibson, or whatever,
Yep.
like just watching those movies and just thinking about them getting ready to go to war, right? And so on the horse, man, that means they got to travel to where they're going to get ready for the battle or whatever the case is. And so you can imagine they're thinking, all right, if this scenario happens, like, if I got to fight a samurai guy and he's coming with a sword, how am I going to block that? So I'm going to need this shield,
Right.
they're thinking like, okay, if I'm in I'm in the position where the guy's pulling out, this kind of weapon, this is how I need defense. This is how I'm going to fight if I fall on the ground.
Yeah.
So they got, but if I'm on the ground, if it's muddy, is it raining today? So yeah, I probably should wear these kind of boots, and I'm actually gonna wear them high because I know over there they got the high weeds, and I ain't trying to trip when I'm trying to fight. So what's happening is they're preparing themselves for every scenario before they get on that horse, and make sure the horse can carry all these different,
tools and
different things that could happen. And so I imagine like when they get on the horse, at that point, it's heavy. There's some things that they're like, okay, I got to prioritize now. Okay, I can't carry all this. I'm not even going to make it. So let's take these little things off. I'm going to keep these. And so anyway, long story short, they're getting headed out to war. But the scripture is saying, get your horse ready for battle. So that's what I just shared. Mm-hmm. But victory is of the Lord's. And so it's a heart posture and a perspective to do all you know to do and let God do the rest. And that's really like the heart of my work ethic, the heart of this chapter.
Yeah. Would you say that, would you call preparation a responsibility at this?
Yeah, that's a good way to ask. It's stewardship of what God's given you. So going back on like as an owner versus stewardship is taking responsibility with all the resources, parenting God's taking you to life, and utilizing those to the best of your ability. So yeah, I do think it's a responsibility to do everything you know to do before, because there's that other like story of the guy who prayed to God every day like he wanted to win the lottery.
Yeah.
Like, man, I need the money, man. Look at my situation. I need the lottery's exact amount I need. Lord, please let me win the lottery. Pray every day. Pray. Lord, let me win the lottery. And then finally he started getting upset, man, because the lottery came and he didn't win. So he was just like, so his next prayer was like, God, he started pulling out scripture. Like, man, it says ask and it will be given. Like, I asked, man, like, and all this stuff. And then God spoke and he was like, oh, God said, man, I was ready to actually give you the lottery.
Yeah.
Like I was about to give it to you, but guess what, man? You never went and bought a ticket. So I say that to say like it is our responsibility to do all we need to do, because that's what unlocks the door for God's opportunities. And so a lot of times we don't know what those are, but we just need to do everything we know to do, and that's the key to God's doorways that he has for us.
That's cool because like I think of it in I've heard relationship advice before where it's like, okay, you want this particular partner in your life, you want this girl, right? And you have all these things that you prefer in this person, but then you don't, like, you just look for it and you ask, but you don't even prepare yourself to be the right person for them. And it's funny because it's like, yeah, you gotta get a good job or work on your health or whatever it is, like, and when the opportunity comes, aka the girl, you try to talk to her, whatever, and you like she doesn't. To her, you're not prepared in a sense. You're not the right guy for her because you're not at the place where you should be at, or you know what I'm saying. Does that make sense?
Oh no, you're nailing it, man. Because I'm talking about war, but I think it also relates to business. It relates to your marriage. It relates to being a parent. Like, we need to do all we know to do for your child, right?
Yes.
In every case, and it's a bummer when I see sometimes, and I fell in it too, but it's like, the safety of the child's everything. It's our responsibility to not think about what we're overdoing, but to set them up for success. So yeah, and not to burn anybody out on that thought, but God has equipped us with exactly what we need in knowledge, resources for every single day.
What I want to pause you there, but what you said was actually big because I feel like parents will, especially new parents, will tend to worry about a situation versus being prepared for it. I think that's huge, man.
Well, that's the key of that scripture is like, we can't let worry and burnout weigh us down. And there's a scripture about God taking that, and this is how it's that scripture. It's do everything you know to do, but victories of the Lord.
Yeah.
That's the key.
Good.
That's the key. The key is I'm doing everything I can to do to protect my child. But now that I've done everything with the resources that I've stewarded with my mind and everything that God has given me and parents me to be able to be that parent, now I need to know and trust victory is of the Lord and that kid's safe. I don't need to worry now because I did everything I need to do. Now, if you don't do everything that you know to do, trust me that the world is set up to hurt your child.
Yes.
And so God can protect and God will, but it is our responsibility and duty to do everything that we know to do.
That's good. Yeah. That's cool because it does relate to everything.
It does,
it does.
It does. Everything. And so to carry it back to business, I think when the greatest storms come or certain things happen in business or whatever the case is, like when you're preparing for war, you want to be able to do everything you know to do in business. You have 20 tasks. You have 8 hours. You got to prioritize those tasks. You got to put them up on a board, put them in your notepad, whatever it is. And if the top 5 get done, you did all you know you can do for that day. You can't conquer everything in 8 hours. You got to honor your 8 hours, but do everything you know to do. Now, don't go on YouTube and watch podcasts for an hour when you could be doing your tasks. You know what I'm saying?
Man, you talking to me, dog.
But see, that's, I think, to carry that home to one single word, that's diligence. Diligence is doing everything you know to do. And so it's our responsibility to honor our times and the times that we have for whatever that case is and do what we know to do. And God will win the war for you. Will win whatever the battle is or the victory is going to be there.